Hi YouTubers, my name is Steven, 27 years old, and I am going to have the gastric sleeve done tomorrow. When I started my process, I was 257 pounds, and I am only 5'5", so that gave me a BMI of 43. I know by looking at my face, I probably don't look like I'm that overweight, but actually giving my body type, I really am. For an example, very, very, very overweight. Doctor calls me obese. Anyway, so I've had a weight problem since I was 9 years old, and I've gone on pretty much every diet you can think of. Tried the Atkins, tried the Zone, South Beach, Weight Watchers, you name it, did it. And I've lost some weight on those, but not as much as I need to be healthy. So before I did start the process, I did have high cholesterol and high blood pressure. Since I have lost some weight, I've lost enough to be able to get off of that medication, so that's great. I have sleep apnea, so I sleep with the CPAP machine, and one thing I'm hoping to gain off this surgery is to not have to sleep with the CPAP machine anymore. So, cross my fingers on that one. I started by talking to an insurance coordinator through my work, and they found that my wife and I are both great candidates um, for the surgeries. So the only problem is my insurance company only covers two surgeries, the gastric bypass and the lap band. And after researching both those, I just wasn't fully comfortable with those because they don't have really high success rates. Plus, especially with the gastric bypass, there seems to be lots of medical issues afterwards. And I have 3 kids, and I just don't want to take any chance, you know. And so when I went to see my doctor, I went in there believing that I was going to go for the bypass. I know it was a risk, however, being thinner would be able to keep me around longer. Well, when I talked to my doctor, he decided that the sleeve is the only way for me to go. I tried to explain to him that my insurance company won't cover it, but he wouldn't take that for an answer and said, well, we're going to try to get your insurance company to cover the sleeve no matter what. That's the surgery we're going for you. And he told my wife the same thing. So we went into it thinking, okay, well, let's try and see where it goes. So when it came time uh, to start our nutrition process, we had to go for 6 months. And that was going to see the nutritionist every month. And we did pretty good on that one. The nutritionist was happy with us. The insurance company was happy with us. And we did great on losing the weight that they wanted us to. And then it came time for putting in for our surgery. Now, the way that the doctor's office decided would be the best would be to put in for the bypass. That way we can get approval and have our date set already. So, of course, we got approved for that right away, and we had our date set up. So then they put in the first paperwork for the gastric sleeve. And of course, we knew that was going to come back as a denial, no problem there. So then they put the appeal in. And a part of our appeal, my wife wrote a great letter and just explaining our situation and why we would be the best for the gastric sleeve. And we really did our research on every surgery, and that one just rang the best for us. Well, it was about 2 weeks before my surgery date, the day before I was supposed to start my 2-week pre-op diet. I finally got my approval. And that just made us excited, because having me have the approval we knew would open the door for my wife, which is just great. So that next day, we went to the nutritionist for our 2-week pre-op appointment and found out everything we need to do for the pre-op diet, plus how we're going to be eating afterwards, and all the vitamins we need to do. So that night we went to a restaurant of my choice, which I decided for my last big hurrah, I wanted to do an Asian buffet. So we went to the best one in town, and I just ate myself silly. I was so stuffed by the end of the night, it was great. And so the next day I started my pre-op diet, and between the 6-month nutritionally watched diet plus my pre-op diet, so far I've lost 38 pounds. So today is the day before my surgery, and so I really tried to consider what would be the best for my last meal. We're only allowed 40 carbs a day, so that way our liver can shrink to make sure that they can move it out of the way. They explained it to me that your liver, if you don't take the amount of carbs in that you're not supposed to, or if you take in too many carbs, excuse me, sorry, then your liver becomes like a brick and they can't move it out of the way. So it's good to stick by what they want. But as my last hurrah meal for tonight, I went down to Burger King and got a double Whopper without the bun. And I probably could have had the bun. I didn't have any carbs today, so I probably would have been within limit, but I'm still nervous, so I want to make sure that I don't get too many carbs. And so basically I had a double Whopper salad. And let me tell you, it was absolutely delicious. It was the best thing I could have picked as my last meal. So I was only allowed to eat till 6 o'clock today, and now I can only drink till midnight, and so now I have to go all the way from midnight till tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and that's when my surgery is. I'm not allowed to eat or drink anything, which is fine, because I think I'm a little nervous and don't really feel like eating or drinking anyway. Um, even though I'm a little nervous, I'm still really excited. This is something I've been looking forward to for so long now, and I've got the best doctor in Washington State, hands down, and I'm not nervous. So, I know I've been rambling on, so I hope y'all have a good night. I'm going to do another video in another couple days and let y'all know how I did. So, have a great night.